I think I'm alive. I hope you can see me, guys. Welcome, everybody. It's been a few days since I've done a live. I'll just wait till a few jump on, if that's possible. There you go. Nobody's still on. Hey, oh, the shadow ban, the shadow ban, the shadow ban. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. We've got two beautiful souls on. Hello, welcome everybody. You found me. Popped up somewhere. Welcome everybody to Mark Bayeski YouTube channel. Just give me a shout out if you can hear me. So, put the music up a little bit. Can you hear me? Is the music okay? And am I live? Because I think I pressed a button. It says hide. No, I think we should be all right. Can you see me? You can hear me? Can you see me though? I know it's a strange question, but I pressed a button down the bottom and I'm not so sure. I'm a silly fool of a duke. Yes, live. Just tell me if you can see me. If you just say, yes, I can see your mug, your ugly mug, Mr. Bayeski. Yeah, good stuff. Welcome, everybody. As per usual, I just jump on whenever I feel it's right. Never really prepared. I'm never prepared as a healer that way and a psychic and somebody who shares information. I'm not somebody who prepares things. I never have been that way as a kid. So, yeah, I thought I'd just jump on and share a little weekend. What day is it today? Yeah, it was weekend. It was a weekend plus a few days in the UK. So first of all, I left for the UK because my dear friend Vincent had his 30th anniversary. What a beautiful thing, 30 years. And the love between them is incredible, really beautiful. So of course I'm going to be there for my best friend's 30th. So I took advantage of a few things, and one of them was to obviously see my grandchildren. So we spent the day together. We went to York Museum, and we had lunch and then went back to his home and played with the grandchildren and kissed them all goodbye. And then I left to go to Vincent's wonderful afternoon celebration. And then the following day, I did Iconic. So I was on Iconic a few weeks ago, and if you're not a member of Iconic, you won't be able to see it. You have to be a member of it. But I can tell you, it was an interview with Gareth Ike. That's one of David's sons. He has two sons. One's called Gareth and one's called Jamie. And if you've ever listened to the Richie Allen show, they've both been on. Solid lads, absolutely lovely. Salt of the earth, we call them. So, yeah, I went on that show, and it was a brief conversation for about 20 minutes. And then he said, I'd love to have a longer conversation with you. And I just said, well, I'm coming to the UK soon. And he says, great. So we booked it in, we penciled it in with Charlotte. Charlotte is the I think the hub of Iconic. She's like does everything and gets everybody together. She's, one of those bundles of joy that runs around doing wonderful things and making sure everything's fine. So I got to Iconic because we agreed on a date. And funnily enough, David was there. David Icke was doing some filming about his new book. And Charlotte said, oh, really good news. David's here, so you might be able to say hello. I said, oh, amazing. Go on then. Brilliant. Let's talk about the light trap, shall we? Anyway, I'm sat down and David comes out after doing some of his filming. And he came over and gave me a hug. We sat down and he started talking about basically what's going on in the world. And I just listened. I listened to everything that he said. And I brought up 2 or 3 points. And he totally. And then he elaborated on the points that I brought up, which he said absolutely, and then elaborated. And had a cup of tea. I brought some mince pies. So we did. So we mince pie. We mince pie with mince pie. And yeah, David had a mince pie, or was it a custard cream, whatever it was. Anyway, it was. Then he had to jump up because he's got more filming. He has to go in and out. So just before he went, we had a quick photo, and I picked up the book that he'd signed. He signed a book for me as he was sat there. I'll just spell Mark as M-A-R with a K. So he did that. And I said, thanks so much. And he got up and Charlotte says, photo of you both. So put each other's arms around and one photo. And he quickly went back in to do his promotion and his videos and all the stuff because he's a busy man. And of course, I'm very respectful. Of course I am. If the opportunity arises, we would have talked about the light trap, which they didn't. But we all of us agree to disagree on many levels. And if it have come up, I would have said something, but I'm respectful, very respectful. Of course I am. And I'm very interested in listening. I'm a good listener. Well, my partner might not think so, but I think I am. I when I'm interested in something, I'm a good listener. If you want to know what Dave is like, I'll tell you exactly what he's like. He is a man fixated. He is a man on a mission. And he is a man that truly sees that we are at a pinnacle. We're at the very end, the last stage of humanity being human. That humanity is disappearing and it's changing, it's transforming. And that's the conversation we had basically. Talked to me a little bit about the fact that he can't get into any countries. He talked about Holland, I think, and going to the high courts and then even lying and cheating and doing what they do. So he can't even go there. And I'm just found it very interesting listening and just observing. And he's a man on a mission. And I'm like, wow, the guy doesn't stop. Like, get back in there, more recording, talking about stuff, and obviously more interviews and things like that. So, yeah, that was my short, brief 15 minutes, 20 minutes of listening to David up front. I've listened to him for hours anyway, as probably many of you have. I've been to quite a few of his shows where they're like 10, 11 hours. So, yeah, the man continues. Legend, of course. But just because I disagree with the light trap, that doesn't mean I don't like the fella. There's a lot of things that I know you guys talk about, and I disagree with a lot of things that you talk about, and I know you disagree with me with a lot of things that I talk about. But I'm not in that club whereby if you don't like something that somebody said, you think that we shouldn't be friends. You don't know me. You have no idea who I am. I have friends that don't believe in anything that I do, that love me for who I am. Doesn't matter what I do. I've got friends that do things that I just think, oh, but I love them. So just because you have your opinions, don't fall in this program mentality that has been purposely created all by design so that you do fall out with them just because you have a difference of opinion. That's shallow. It's disgusting. It's dark. And it really is for fools. So don't become a fool. So David went into the room, and then Gareth came out, gave him a hug, gave Jamie a hug. Jamie was busy. Gareth brought me into the studio. We sat down, and basically, I'll be honest with you, you probably will watch it and think, I've heard all this before. So there was nothing new that you will hear, really. I talked about leaving Spain. I talked about what happened to me when I was here on the mountain, how I became a healer. I talk about how to work with crystals, and you've heard that all. I talk, and we went through a lot of discussion of different topics, but you've heard them all. There was nothing very, very deep. I talked about Tektite for a moment. I talked about God's breastplate a little bit. I talked about religion a little bit. I talked about things that are going on right now and what I feel about what's happening with the world and stuff, a little bit like that. But you've heard it all before. Nothing special in the sense that I wasn't there to like, oh, this is like, it's going to be, ooh, we must watch. It's just basically me having a chat with a lovely lad. And he was interested in my journey, more so with regards to the fact that I'd left UK to move to Spain, and he felt that that was a brave thing, and he would like to know how that happened. Excuse me. So that was it, and it was lovely, and it lasted 2 hours, and we gave each other a cuddle, and I was on my way. Got to the airport, stayed at the Premier Inn, and then took the flight. I got up this morning. Well, I didn't really sleep much, but I got up this morning at 5 o'clock, got on the plane at 8 o'clock, got home, and then drove straight here. And here I am. There you go. That's it. Boring, really? No, it was great. It was great. Not boring about that. So, kidding. It was lovely experience. So that's it, really. What else? I'm itching to work on some more crystals that I wanted to kind of, for the last part of, I wanted the 16th onwards to be all special. So like I've got certain crystals already and worked upon, and they're special because one, a lot of them are brand new, you won't have heard of, and I just loved working with them. And also I've got some very, very rare crystals that aren't mounted, that are just beautiful pieces, like Alexandrite, and some very rare pieces, some very beautiful pieces. I've got, just lovely. I've got some lovely bits. So I've got to admit, I am a bit tired, and I was going to start finishing off. I've got like a couple of hours on one lot of crystals that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, maybe 3 hours on another. So I'm going to try and do is every day do a new crystal video, share with you a new crystal video of new crystals, which are gorgeous, and I've loved working with them. So I'm a bit excited about that. And that's really it, really. Today has been a difficult one because one of the staff is not feeling too good, and I didn't have time. I thought I was going to be back for some reason. Oh yeah, I thought I was going to be back yesterday, so I couldn't do a special offer today. So I apologize for that, but I'm sure a lot of you did take advantage of every special offer from the 1st till the what we are now, 16th. So it was yesterday, it was the last special offer. So I'll try and make up for the special offer today. Tomorrow I'll try and do 2 special offers tomorrow, and also do some beautiful upcoming 15 15 days of brand new crystals that you've never seen before, and some beautiful, rare one-off pieces. I think I'm just going to give you a taster. I'm going to show you one now that I worked on, and you might like it's a one-off. So it's in my hand. It's in my hand. It's here. It's beautiful, and I'm right. It's an angel, right? But it's really beautifully carved. So have a look at this. Oh, look! Isn't she beautiful? Labradorite. Isn't she gorgeous? Isn't she lovely? There you go. That's just one. Beautifully carved. Beautifully carved. Not massive into angels per se, but when I see a nice one, I know I recognize a nice one when I see one. So yeah, I got some beautiful pieces coming up like that. Some beautiful Moldavite bracelets which fly out of the door. Some beautiful pieces of Moldavite, some nice Moldavites, affordable Moldavites. Yeah, some beautiful rubies. I don't want to spoil it too much, but really nice bits and pieces. So before I go, I did listen to something that I get a bit passionate, and I tell you what it is, right? I get passionate at things that I know to be true. When I don't really know something, I'm not as passionate, but when I know something to be true and I see somebody, saying something and I think, nah, that's not true. If I really know because I've worked in that field, then I get passionate. So I'm going to share this with you now, and you might disagree, and you're absolutely fine to disagree. But I'm going to share with you what I understand about this subject, and then I'm going to go because I'm a bit tired. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, listen.
Does it mean the magnetic field is very bad if the sage burns like this? I recently received this question from a follower. If the sage is burning like this...
Okay, let's start again. Let's start again.
Energy field is bad? The short answer is yes. Sage is a powerful tool used to clear... Does it mean the magnetic field is very bad if the sage burns like this? I recently received this question from a follower. If the sage is burning like this, does it mean my home's energy field is bad? The short answer is yes. Sage is a powerful tool used to clear heavy, negative energy from an entire space. If your sage burns dark or struggles to stay lit, it's a sign that the environment has accumulated deep-seated negativity. We often see this in homes that have just been moved into, or where there has been a lot of recent conflict and arguments. To effectively cleanse your space, here is my professional guide on how to do it correctly. 1. Always sage during the daylight hours. Avoid burning it after 3 p.m. or at night. 2. Before you start, cover your mirrors, close your doors, and keep your windows open. 3. Once lit, start with...
I've got to stop. This guy hasn't a clue. And this, my dear friends, is exactly where we are in 2025, coming up to 2026. We've got young men and women with no clue to what they're saying, but they sound like they know what they're saying. If there was ever an opposite to what this guy is saying, that's it. That is what he's saying is the absolute furthest from the actual truth. It's embarrassing. It shows who he is, clueless, and it shows that he has no idea about energy. He's probably read a lot of books. I don't know who he is, but he has no clue to sage. He has no clue to saging, and he has no clue to energy, none at all. So he might put furniture around, fine. I know nothing about that, but he has no idea what saging is. So let me break it down for you. So when I first started saging, right, I realized that saging is an important part of cleansing a room. So negative energy in a room, okay, it's potent. It's potent. And one thing that I noticed around clients is that when I tried to light the sage, and I did this on stage all over the world, I get people up on stage and sit them down and start to try to sage them. And if the stage wouldn't burn, do you know what I'd say? I'd say your energy is good. Exactly the opposite of whoever this person is saying. So you imagine for 20 years of saging, this guy comes along and no idea who he is, and he actually says the complete opposite of what I found in thousands of clients and hundreds of houses. So I used to sit people down in the audience, they're all watching. So I'm going to say, I am going to do a saging on this client. So what I'd do is start to try and burn the sage. And if the sage starts burning very quickly and there's loads of it, it means that the room needs it. If I'm trying to burn it and it's not burning, it means the room is good energy or the person has good energy. So I would say this person's got good energy. And I'd start to try and light it. And I would say, before I light this, it might be difficult to light it because this person actually has got really good energy. And everybody would be laughing because I'd be trying to light it, blow it, wouldn't happen, blow it. And I know my sage isn't easy, but when you're in a room and it's filled with negative energy, boy, oh boy, do you find that this lights, and you will find that not only will it light and when you blow it, it's more and more and more. But what you find is that if it sets on fire, if like when you blow it, it goes woof, and then there's a ball of fire, there's loads of fire that it's just on fire, then you know you're in a place what needs more cleansing. So over the years, many people laughed and said, no. And the last sage I did was for two ladies who owned a business in Marbella on the Golden Mile. And it's called Planta Bistro. They were struggling there. And I said, look, I can help you sage. And then I said to them, look, oh, we've saged before. I said, yeah, but the saging and the saging. And I said, if you trust me, I've done it for 20 years. Maybe I can show you something that you might not know. So as I'm telling them when I went there that night, if you find that your sage sets on fire and just for no reason why you're blowing it just goes woof, then stay around that area and sage more, because the energy there is more negative. And they both laughed. They literally laughed and says, as if to say, and I'm like, no, it might not happen. And I'm like, knowing it will. But if it does, two things, please, just trust me. Don't blow too close and don't put your head down here and blow in the bowl because your hair might set on fire. So they were doing it, and then all of a sudden, woof! And when it happened 2 or 3 times downstairs in a certain place, which I knew it would, and so on. And when we came back up and we sat outside, they said this was amazing. That's never happened before. And the reason why is because, for mostly, the amount of sage that you're putting in that room. Open all your doors and windows. No, you don't open the doors and windows. You leave the doors and windows closed. And the reason why is because you are trying to get all that energy, that bad energy, absorbed into the sage. The sage, for some reason, the smoke absorbs negative energy. So if your window is opening, the absorption isn't taking place like it would do if all the windows and doors are shut, which means that the smoke is in the room and it's collecting the negative energy. It's pulling it from all the furniture. It's pulling it from the curtains. It's pulling it from the ground and from the ceiling and the walls. So you leave all the doors and windows shut. Sorry, pal. And then you walk out of that place with the place filled with smoke, totally filled with smoke. There's so much smoke you cannot see. From ceiling to floor, it's filled. You can't breathe, okay? And you make sure you get every single room, every corner, everywhere filled with smoke. You open the door and you shut the door behind you quickly, and you stay away from 1 hour to 2 hours, giving enough time for the sage to absorb and to clear and to pull away all of that negativity into the sage smoke. After 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, you open all the doors and windows so that negative energy in the sage will blow straight out. That's how you sage. So you can see that the new age of new guys coming along, making up stories, totally, that's a made up story, but sounding like he knows what he's talking about. So be aware who you listen to, because in truth, it can be dangerous to a degree, because if you're not cleansing your room properly, then you're going to feel worse afterwards. And then you're going to say, well, if it's not that, it must be me. I learned very early on that a little sage smoke isn't enough, especially when working in a room or a house. And if you're working around your body, the more that sage is burning around you, the more you need it. And the more that sage is setting on fire, the more that room needs it. What does that mean? It just means that you need to sage properly and leave it for at least 1 hour to 2 hours, then open the doors and windows. So that's my truth. That's my 20 years experience. And I'd probably say, and in confidence, I'd probably say I've saged more than, I would say, 99% of humanity. I think there's only a few who would have saged as much as me. I sage all the time. I go through bags and bags. And when I say bags, I mean bags this high, that big. I bought more bags of sage and cleansed here through the 12 years that I've worked than I've ever seen any shaman or any healer use sage. So I've worked in more properties and used sage than I've ever known anybody that I've worked with as healers. So I think I'm fairly confident when I say that this guy's talking BS. Nice video, very good promotion, fantastic marketing, but it's wrong. And let that be a lesson to people out there when you're watching these videos and being impressed by the amount of money they spend on the video. I wonder why they're doing that. when surely the truth should be powerful in itself. So just a point, just to think about in the near future. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. I'm gonna crack on, tidy up a little bit, cleansing here a little bit because I've just got back. And then I'm going to go home, have a good night's sleep. And then tomorrow we're going to crack on and do some lovely videos on crystals and, special offers and other things. I hope you enjoyed today, guys. Thanks for joining me. Wishing you a lovely day. What do you do when it's hard to keep it burning? I have to relight over and over. So what I do, I normally get my incense sticks and take a little bit off that and rub it into it. And then because the incense stick is really easy, that the cleansing sticks, it's so easy. Then you just light it and then it will light up and then just keep blowing. And yeah, but it's also a good sign that the room energy isn't that bad. So again, this is my belief, this is my thought, and this is my factual evidence that I think that is completely wrong. Just doesn't make any sense to me. So there you go. Anyway, each to their own. People do what people do. And if you're listening and it feels right, then that's how I suggest saging. But I'm not going to spend, I mean, I could spend literally, I could do one of those videos. I could get a company to come and do one of those videos of me and, very posh and me looking great and saying, this is how you do it. People ask me what to do. I could do all of that and I could go down that route. But for me, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But for me, I don't want it to sound awful because you might do it. But for me, if something is real and genuine, it doesn't need all singing and dancing. The message should be enough by just talking and it should resonate with you. That to me feels like it feels deceiving. It feels like, well, they have to buff it up and make it sound fantastic. And you don't need to do that. But hey, new age, it's the new age. And I used to be called new age. And I see now that myself is calling this new age. Fantastic, looks great, but it's wrong information. So that's how I sage. And there you go. Wishing you a lovely day. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Bye.